Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's discussion. Our discussion will be about e-learning. We'll be having a discussion about e-learning pros and cons at VUT. So I've got my colleagues here, Mr. Anton Pillay, Mr. Ralphael Muchabaiwa, Dr. Jeremiah Madzimure. My name is Thato Tjabane. So welcome to today's session. Firstly, I'll start by introducing e-learning, what e-learning is, a little bit background before we move on to the challenges, to the advantages, or should I say challenges that are facing, students in regards to e-learning within our institution. So the internet, we all know that the internet has provided us with easy access to information and knowledge. We have moved on from using CD or the ROM to internet web instruction, which is www. In simpler terms, World Wide Web. Thank you, Mr. Muchabaiwa. And then e-learning, we could say, is a technology which supports teaching and learning using a computer web technology. E-learning has developed very fast due to internet use, and as well I think it's because we are moving to the fourth industrial revolution as well. So we are now doing things differently. Before we used to do things in a traditional way of, students just being the receiver of knowledge. Right now we are trying to integrate, we've got facilitation as well, and other forms of, but specifically for today we'll be discussing about e-learning. It also helps us to bridge the gap between teacher and a student in different ways. So we'll be moving into our discussion from now on of the pros and cons. So I'll hand over to my colleagues, but it's still a discussion forum where we'll be discussing different views.
Yeah, but Ms. Mashula, I was asking the group name, when we were talking about e-learning is bridging the gap between the teacher, how does it bridge the gap? Can anyone here you can understand more deeply?
By bridging the gap?
I
believe maybe at least now, you see, teachers now can communicate to their students. You see now there's long distance learning. Now sometimes don't even have to don't necessarily have to be in class. Teacher can communicate via emails. Now, you remember that thing of turn it in. Now you can just submit from wherever, if you're in Malanga. So I think it's bridging that gap between the teachers, and then if you don't understand anything, just email your teacher rather than going to the office to look for him. Maybe you might not even find him. I don't know.
Or we can say it's just a vessel between the teacher and
the means of communication. Quick, I don't know. What do you think, Anton?
I agree and disagree at the same time.
Right.
But no, I think there's many advantages and disadvantages. But in terms of the fourth industrial revolution and whether the South African University is ready to engage with e-learning, it's still highly debated. I mean, even in the context of VUT, it's a highly debatable notion.
Okay. But anyway, I think e-learning also, it's actually, sometimes it's causing high cost to this learning, because not everyone is having access to what you call it, this e-learning material. Yeah, gadgets, the material,
And in terms of connectivity as well, how good is our signal within the campus?
Even at the res, I mean, you look at things like Google and Facebook. They were founded in residences, at the university residence, at the dorms. When these students were making Facebook, when they were making Google, there were students and they were in their dorms making them. I mean, here, for example, we don't even have total Wi-Fi connectivity. So it just shows that the two different worlds we're in.
and we've only got like maybe 4 or 5 hotspot areas, like within the whole campus. Sometimes at rest, there's no Wi-Fi, but we are moving into the 4th industrial revolution, but our learner management system.
But I believe it's a good thing.
I think this e-learning is also dependent on the internet speed. Otherwise, I think it's another challenge for e-learning.
Yeah, and if the internet is good, it allows flexibility of learning. You see, it makes life easier for every student.
I think the other point is that maybe before, I don't know if I'm right or wrong, lecturers need to also consider it, like within classes, how many students do we have that have access to this, how many do they have, like how many students do we have that have gadgets, like we can't just assume like in class, like we are now, we've all got smartphones. I mean, we need to check the background, learner profile, that's where it comes in, to understand our learners.
But what can this student do then? So sometimes even this e-learning also requires knowledge and skills. You can't just say go and do this. So what can the institution do to combat these challenges we're talking about, especially this UOT? Because the University of Technology, how can it be university without technology?
Yeah, I mean, since it's a university, I don't know, in my opinion, since it's a university of technology, then that means they need to bridge the gap in between.
But how can the institution, like for example, this UT?
Maybe source funds from the government. This is a big institution in the country.
Oh,
It needs government support to these institutions. I don't know.
But also, it boils down to corruption as well. You want to set up a Wi-Fi system
within the
who's getting that tender? That tender is worth millions, hundreds of millions of rands. It all boils down to who's getting these tenders and who's fighting for that tender, and you don't deserve that tender. This person needs that tender. It's the politics behind it. That's why we haven't had Wi-Fi for the past.
So political issues also have play a role in the decision of e-learning.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think even the strikes as well, they might have an impact, because during strike there might be some vandalism that would happen. Then during vandalism, then you might find the internet could be affected, or the available gadgets or computer labs that we have. What if they get,
But I think there's also an advantage. Those things, like we are saying, they're not vandalized. The thing is, we're talking about people can work from far. Like when during that strike, you can conduct a class. You say people can work via e-learning too.
I'm just saying,
So
in instance for students who don't have, gadgets. Like we all know, like we've got a lot of students who are making use of the library at the gym hall to write their assignment. Not everyone has, in regards with everyone having gadgets to be. It could be.
Another question is safety. Do we have the security to house all these expensive technologies? Like look at GW, for example. As you said, there's not one projector there. So, do we have the security to house these? We want these whiteboards, futuristic technologies, but if they'll go missing, then what?
Some are not working. I mean, it boils down to security and maintenance as well.
True.
So those are the issues that we need to consider, I think, in regards to e-learning as well.
So my other question, where do you see e-learning in 5 years time? Where can you see it? Because we're not talking about those pros and cons, the advantages and disadvantages of e-learning.
But I believe e-learning is the one that is moving forward. I believe almost every institution, even in primary schools, I saw they're even using what you call it, e-learning. Because now they're even giving those small kids, they do have some schools, they even give them those booklets and so that they can access the internet, communicate with their teachers over homework.
We have to be wary though, because I think it's skewed. All the technology is skewed in favor of the students. It doesn't look at the teacher necessarily. And at the end of the day, with the 4th IR, it wants to make the teacher obsolete. So they just want to have classrooms with no teacher, just technology.
Yeah.
So that could be the future of
Well,
of the whole of learning is just e-learning.
where you don't have to attend class necessarily, you just be like what? Yeah.
Or you even there's a hologram.
Yeah.
There's like a hologram who can instruct the class, a computer teacher. You know a hologram. Yeah, and it saves money. You don't have to pay the teacher. You don't have to engage with his or her needs. It's a possibility. That could be the future of learning.
Oh, so I'm not sure. Is that what UNISA has already introduced? Like those ones following? Is that through e-learning? Whereby, like, when you're doing with UNISA, like, you don't necessarily have to go to class. You just communicate with your lecturers.
Or is there like learning? It's like Futela.
Oh, it's like
because they are
Futela.
own, but they call it another name.
All
So
right.
like a learning management system they use.
Okay.
So they are long for their distance learning students.
All right.
And data is also expensive. That's what we need to consider.
Yeah, that is number one thing, I think.
In comparison to other countries, South Africa is the highest in the world. For 4 gigabyte, I mean, here it could be over 300 Rand. But if you take 4 gigabyte in India, for example, it's $2,
Especially
which is maybe 20 Rand. So where is the government and university going to, and even civil society, they call it the triple helix.
Yeah.
Where are they going to engage in order to bring the price of data down? Because now it's just exorbitant. People cannot afford data, and that's going to prohibit learning.
Yeah, it is very expensive here. Because in Nigeria, like I said, also in India, it's cheaper than. So I think maybe the government or department of, I don't know whether it's government or department of education has to work hand in hand with the network providers to try and, I don't know, do something in regards to, data.
And I believe also e-learning it's a good thing, because the advantage is that even now you can even learn what's happening worldwide. So I think we don't necessarily have to learn only what's happening within South Africa. Even if you are doing your research, so you are not only focusing, but you're also focusing on different countries, and you can easily access the information.
And there are different platforms, I think, that could be used for e-learning.
Like what?
WhatsApp, Facebook.
Oh yeah.
Because most of the time students are always with WhatsApp, Facebook.
Yeah.
I think if we could integrate, our teaching into like Facebook, WhatsApp, then we could try to reach more and more, students. Because if you can check, if we could have try to check statistically, we could find that maybe almost students spend 95% of their time with WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and whatnot. So I think maybe we should try.
It makes learning interactive, more exciting.
But if you can find ways to approach it in those, platforms that students are always on, I think
I think
this could be an advantage as well.
But this then brought me, before we summarize, I think I got a question. Which now, we were talking about advantages and disadvantages. So can we say that the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? Or the disadvantages outweigh? So which one is, can we just discuss about that? Or a combination of other teaching method? Can you also add this learning?
It's hard to say.
It's hard
They balance each other, in my opinion. The benefits and constraints, they weigh even on the metaphorical scale, if we may call it that.
It's for me, I feel like it's hard to just to add on what he said. We can't say, okay, the advantages are more, whereas we've got. So I think we need to balance the two. We shouldn't reject e-learning and say it's not efficient because of what, but we need to have
But I also believe that since time is moving, the advantages would soon outweigh the disadvantages. In the sense that since we're saying that some students do not have access to e-learning material, as time moves on, we might find that things will change and all these disadvantages will get phased out, because you see, it's a process. Time is moving, the advantages will soon outweigh the disadvantages. That's what I also think.
Otherwise, guys, thank you for this discussion. I think we need to
Please subscribe and like
our
and
video
comment.
of e-learning. We'll still continue talking about e-learning too.
Yeah, so we'll post more and more videos in the future. So thank you. See you next time. Bye bye.